Close your eyes and imagine the taste of chocolate melting on your tongue. That rich, sweet, velvety sensation that makes everything feel right with the world. Billions of people crave it daily. Wars have been fought over its trade. Fortunes made and lost. But chocolate wasn't always sweet, and it wasn't always meant for pleasure. Try to imagine a world without chocolate. No chocolate cake on birthdays. No hot cocoa on winter nights. No chocolate bar hidden in your desk drawer for difficult afternoons. For thousands of years, this was humanity's reality. And when people finally discovered chocolate, they didn't eat it as candy. They drank it as medicine. They offered it to gods. This is the story of chocolate, a transformation so complete that we've forgotten its origins. From the rainforests of ancient Mexico to the factories of Switzerland, from bitter ceremonial drink to the sweet comfort we know today. A journey involving empires, explorers, enslaved peoples, and the eternal human search for pleasure. And it all began with a small, ugly pod growing on jungle trees. Here's what makes chocolate's story remarkable. The cacao bean in its natural state is intensely bitter. No sweetness at all. Early humans who discovered it must have been desperate or inspired to keep trying. But something about it called to them, perhaps the way it made them feel. Alert, energized, almost euphoric. They couldn't know they'd discovered a chemical called theobromine, the food of the gods. The Maya were the first we know of to cultivate cacao, as far back as 1500 BCE. They didn't just grow it, they revered it. Cacao trees were sacred, believed to be a bridge between earth and heaven. The Maya created elaborate ceremonies around the chocolate drink they called chocolha, bitter water, dark, frothy, spiced with chili. Nothing like what we know today. In Maya temples, priests prepared chocolate for the most important moments: births, deaths, marriages, coronations. The preparation itself was ritual. They poured the liquid from great heights to create foam. The foam was considered the most sacred part, capturing the essence of the gods. Only royalty and priests drank chocolate regularly. For common people, it was reserved for special ceremonies. Cacao beans became so valuable, they served as money. A rabbit cost 10 beans, a slave 100. Counterfeiting was a serious problem. People would empty the beans and refill them with clay. The Maya, and later the Aztecs, built entire economies on cacao. Imagine if your salary was paid in chocolate bars. That was their reality. When the Aztecs rose to power in the 14th century, they inherited the Maya's love of cacao, but they took it further. The Aztec Emperor Montezuma reportedly drank 50 cups of chocolate daily from golden goblets. His vast storerooms held thousands of cacao beans. Warriors drank chocolate before battle for strength. It was energy drink, medicine, and currency all in one bitter cup. The original chocolate drink was nothing like hot cocoa. Imagine this: roasted cacao beans ground to paste with stone tools, mixed with water, sometimes cold, never sweetened, flavored with chili peppers, vanilla, allspice, sometimes even flowers, bitter, spicy, complex. The Aztecs called it zocolotl, bitter water. They believed it gave wisdom and power, and they were onto something. Cacao contains compounds that do affect the brain. In Aztec mythology, the god Quetzalcoatl brought cacao to humans from paradise. It was a gift, too precious for mortals, stolen from the gods. Every time someone drank chocolate, they were tasting divine knowledge. When the Aztecs sacrificed to their gods, chocolate was essential, the drink that connected earth to heaven, human to divine. It wasn't indulgence, it was communion. In 1502, Christopher Columbus encountered cacao beans on his fourth voyage. He saw natives trading them, but dismissed them as almonds. He had no idea what he was looking at. 20 years later, Hernán Cortés understood better. He saw how the Aztecs valued these beans above gold. Cortés sent cacao back to Spain, along with conquered Aztec gold. The chocolate age in Europe was about to begin, but we must speak the truth. Chocolate's journey to Europe was soaked in blood and suffering. The Spanish conquest devastated indigenous populations. Forced labor in cacao plantations killed thousands. The chocolate that delighted European aristocracy was harvested by enslaved hands. This bitter truth shadows chocolate's sweet story. Every pleasure we enjoy today stands on this painful history we cannot ignore. In Spain, nuns in monasteries began experimenting with chocolate. They added something the Aztecs never had: sugar. Cane sugar from the Caribbean mixed with bitter cacao created something entirely new. They tried cinnamon instead of chili. Vanilla remained. The result was still dark and rich, but now it had sweetness. This was the moment chocolate began its transformation from ceremonial drink to indulgent treat. For a century, Spain kept chocolate secret, a luxury reserved for royalty. But secrets leak. By the 1600s, chocolate houses opened in London, Paris, Vienna. European aristocrats sipped sweetened chocolate from delicate porcelain cups. It became fashionable, expensive, a status symbol. Ladies held chocolate parties. Kings gave it as diplomatic gifts. Chocolate was becoming what it had always been for the Aztecs, a marker of power. As centuries passed, scientists began studying chocolate. They discovered why it affects us so powerfully. Cacao contains over 300 chemical compounds. Theobromine stimulates the heart and mind. Phenylethylamine, the same chemical our brains release when we fall in love. Anandamide, which creates feelings of bliss. Chocolate wasn't just delicious, it was chemistry. Natural mood enhancement wrapped in a bean. The 1800s brought revolution. In 1828, Dutch chemist Coenraad van Houten invented a press that separated cocoa butter from cocoa solids. This made chocolate powder possible, easier to mix, smoother to drink. Then came the steam engine, mass production, factories. What had taken hours by hand now took minutes by machine. Chocolate was about to become accessible to everyone, not just the wealthy. In 1847, a British company called Fry's created something revolutionary, the first chocolate bar. They mixed cocoa powder, sugar, and cocoa butter into a paste, poured it into molds, and let it harden. Solid chocolate you could break off and eat with your hands. No cups, no ceremony, no preparation needed. This simple innovation changed everything. Chocolate went from drink to food, from ritual to snack. In 1875, a Swiss chocolatier named Daniel Peter achieved what seemed impossible. He added milk to chocolate without it spoiling. Milk chocolate was born, sweeter, creamier, more accessible to children and those who found dark chocolate too intense. His neighbor and friend, Henri Nestlé, helped perfect the process. Together they created the chocolate most of the world knows and loves today. The bitter Aztec drink had traveled far indeed. By the early 1900s, chocolate factories dotted Europe and America. Hershey, Cadbury, Lindt, names that would become household words. Assembly lines churned out chocolate bars by the thousands. What the Aztec emperor once hoarded in palaces now sat in every corner store. A treat once reserved for gods and kings became available to a factory worker, a child, anyone with a few coins. Democracy, wrapped in foil. Chocolate even went to war. During World War II, both sides included chocolate in soldiers' rations. It provided quick energy, lifted morale, reminded them of home. The Hershey Company created special military bars that wouldn't melt easily. Chocolate became comfort in the darkest times. When peace returned, chocolate became celebration. Birthday cakes, holiday treats, gifts of love. It marked our happiest moments and sustained us through our hardest. Today, chocolate is a $100 billion global industry. Over 7 million tons produced annually. The world eats so much chocolate that cacao farmers in West Africa, Latin America, and Asia work constantly to keep up with demand. Switzerland alone consumes about 20 pounds of chocolate per person each year. That's about 1 chocolate bar every 3 days. The Aztecs could never have imagined such abundance. But we must face difficult truths. Much of the world's cacao is still harvested by impoverished farmers, sometimes by children who should be in school. The forests where cacao once grew wild are disappearing, cleared for more plantations. Climate change threatens cacao trees themselves. Our sweet pleasure continues to have bitter costs. The question we face now: can we enjoy chocolate ethically? Can we honor its gift without exploitation? There is hope. Fair trade chocolate ensures farmers receive living wages. Sustainable farming practices protect forests and biodiversity. Some companies work directly with cacao farmers, building schools, improving conditions. Certifications like Rainforest Alliance guide conscious consumers. When we choose ethical chocolate, we vote with our purchases. We can break the chain of exploitation. We can make chocolate's future as sweet as its taste. The choice is ours. Why do we love chocolate so deeply? Scientists continue discovering answers. Chocolate melts at exactly body temperature. That smooth sensation on your tongue is perfectly engineered by nature. It releases serotonin and endorphins in our brains, natural happiness chemicals. The combination of fat, sugar, and those mysterious cacao compounds creates what researchers call chocolate cravings. We're not weak-willed. We're responding to millions of years of evolution, telling us this food is special. Think about the role chocolate plays in your own life. Birthday cakes shared with family. Valentine's chocolate expressing what words cannot. Hot cocoa on winter evenings that warms more than your body. The chocolate you hide in your desk for difficult days. It's more than food. It's comfort, celebration, connection. It marks our rituals and soothes our sorrows. In this, we're not so different from the Aztecs who saw divine meaning in every sip. From the rainforests of ancient Mexico to your kitchen cupboard. What a journey chocolate has made. From bitter ceremonial drink offered to gods to sweet comfort offered to ourselves. From currency worth more than gold to affordable pleasure anyone can enjoy. Through conquest and innovation, through darkness and light, chocolate has been transformed. But perhaps its deepest magic hasn't changed. The way it makes us feel. That moment of simple sweetness that makes life a little better. Tonight, somewhere, a child tastes chocolate for the first time, eyes widening with wonder. Someone gives chocolate as a gift, saying, "I love you," without words. Someone breaks off a piece to share, creating a moment of connection. Chocolate has become a universal language, understood in every country, speaking directly to something fundamental in us. The need for sweetness, the desire for pleasure, the simple joy of a flavor that makes us smile. As you drift towards sleep tonight, remember, every chocolate you've ever tasted carries this entire history. The Aztec priests who first blessed cacao trees, the Spanish nuns who added sweetness, the innovators who made it solid, the farmers who tend the trees today. Every bite connects you to thousands of years of human ingenuity and desire. You're part of chocolate's story too, and what a sweet story it is. Rest now. Tomorrow, When you taste chocolate, maybe in your morning coffee, maybe as an afternoon treat, maybe as dessert after dinner, you'll remember this story. You'll taste not just sweetness, but centuries. Not just pleasure, but perseverance. Not just chocolate, but humanity's endless creativity in pursuit of joy. Sleep peacefully, knowing the small pleasures matter. Knowing sweetness has its place in this world. Knowing chocolate will be there tomorrow. Good night. So drift now into dreams. Dream perhaps of rainforests and ancient ceremonies, of sweetness traveling across oceans and centuries to reach you, of the simple magic of flavor, of all the small joys that make life worth living. And know that chocolate, like sleep itself, is one of life's gentle gifts. A reminder that pleasure has its place, that sweetness matters, that sometimes the best things in life really do melt in your mouth and in your heart. Sweet dreams.